Okay, welcome to Bitrix24 Live. I am Damien Edwards. I'm the commercial manager of Bitrix24 Partners Interface. We are based in the UK and we have offices in New York and Dubai. Get in touch with us if you would like a demonstration of the system. We will ask you your requirements and tailor a demo to suit your requirements. We can also help with on-site or online training, and we have a full implementation service, and we have a support package, telephone support package. So today, if you want to post questions in the YouTube video, in the YouTube chat window, we can answer those questions for you today. Alternatively, email those questions to live@interface.com and we'll get through those questions. Any questions on any subject area of Bitrix24, we can answer today. We've had some questions come in via email, which I will start off with. Firstly, explain the permissions in the CRM. So let's have a look at that. So we're in our demo site here. If we go into the CRM, then if you're an administrator of the system, you will have access to the settings link, which is up here. Within settings, then we need to click on permissions and into access permissions. So what we've got on this demo site are quite a few roles. In fact, let's take some of these roles out. Generally don't need this sort of number of different roles. So what we're going to do, what we're going to end up with is a number of roles, and then we're going to assign different permissions to those roles. So generally you'll have salespeople, you'll have managers, you'll have chief executives, and then you'll have administrators as well. So let's just take some of these out. So you have 2 sales manager roles in there. So that's probably going to be a typical structure for roles like that. Let's just have a look in one of the roles, sales manager role. So it is possible within each role to define different levels of access to different areas of the CRM system. So these are the levels of access across the top, and these are the different modules that we have on the left hand side. So if we just look at the first couple, companies, contacts and deals, if we want to allow people to read contacts or access contact records, we can do so. Essentially, you can allow people to access their own, so those that they're responsible for. It can allow them to access their own and anybody else's in the same department. We have a company structure, which I'll show you in a second, so you can also allow people to access their own, people in those that belong to people in their department, but plus those that belong to people in departments below their department. Or you can shut access down fully. Let's put in personal in department. So what you need to do is go through each of these different modules down the left hand side and set the permission that is right for your organization. If you look at deals, then we have within deals you have different pipelines, so you can set different permissions for individual pipelines. It might be that you have different people within your business that work on different pipelines, maybe selling different product groups. So you might want to restrict access to certain pipelines to different, say, salespeople. Also within the pipelines themselves, you have different stages that you can develop, progress through, and it is possible to set different permissions based on deals being at different stages. So common one for this would be something like when it's won or when it's lost. So what we want to do maybe is just restrict, probably what you want to do when it's won or lost is restrict access to being able to delete or update, that is change the content of a deal. So once a deal's been won, you don't want someone changing the values or anything inside there. So if we go down the update column, probably going to want to put denied on that, and maybe also lost as well. So when they're won or lost, then the deal is locked down and nobody can change that. You might want to go You might want to choose who can delete records. You don't want people deleting large volumes of data from your system. You might want to restrict who can export as well. Again, exporting large volumes of data might not be ideal for your business. So you can create your role. You're going to have to go through each of these and choose what you want to do for things like quotes and invoices, etc. as well. Once you've created your role, if you save that, then you can then create access to that individual role. So if I click on access permissions, you can do this by groups, users or departments. So user groups are is a specific function for the self-hosted edition of Bitrix. So if you don't have the self-hosted edition, you won't have that. You'll have users, departments and social network groups. Users, so individual users, departments, I'll show you the company structure in a second, but you can create your own departments within a company structure. Social network groups, otherwise known as work groups or project groups, you can use those to define permissions. Let's have a look at a department. So let's say HR. So what we're going to do here is give HR, all department employees of HR, access to that sales manager role that we've just created. If you were to then go in and select an individual user, let's select this user I'm logged in here as John Smith, and to give them, say, an administrator role in the system. That user happened to be in the HR department. They've got two sets of permissions. They're going to receive the higher level of access all the time. So we can save that, and that's it. That's user permissions for the CRM. There are other permissions within the system that you would set up separately. If you've got the cloud and the self-hosted, they work slightly differently. On the self-hosted, you get a bit more flexibility around what you can allow people to see and not see. You can do some really good stuff with menus, so you can allow people to see certain content via menu links and restrict that for other users. But it's essentially what you do with permissions. I need to import my existing customers into Bitrix. I want my customers to get emails from me or their rep quarterly. Emails are already pre-canned. What's the best way to do that and automate it? So let me just review that. I need to import my existing customers into Bitrix. Let's do that. I can show you that. I want my customers to get emails from me or their rep quarterly. Okay, so we can do the import, and then we can do a process that would drip emails out every quarter to a predefined group of contacts within the system. Let's have a look at importing customers first of all. So let's go into companies, and you'll see your list of existing companies in here. If you've got a new system, it will be blank. You can of course add new companies manually one by one, or we can import them. Probably the best thing to do here is, if you've got a record that already exists, so the first thing you probably want to do is actually just create your custom fields, I guess. Let's just click into that. So you want to create any fields that don't exist already that you need in order to store information. So the sort of fields that you can create are standard text fields, lists. So there's a drop-down field. You might want to categorize businesses by the sort of type of business they are or products they buy. You can attach files. You've got money fields. So it might be you want to put a value against a particular company based on what you estimate they spend or something. So I would create my fields that you need to see inside a record firstly. I would then go in to export these to an Excel file, and that will export all your fields with the column headers. Once you've got that Excel spreadsheet, you can then populate that with all your companies you want to import, and then it's just a case of coming in here and importing that from the spreadsheet. So by exporting initially and then importing once you've populated that spreadsheet, you know you've got all the columns and everything correct. So choose your file. I'll not go through this because I don't have a file to do this, but choose your file. I think you have to put UTF-8 in generally. The rest of it's fairly self-explanatory. First row is header. Usually have the descriptions, not actually data importing on the first row. Keep that ticked. Click next. It will map those fields because you've exported, then populated the field, and then re-imported the same spreadsheet. It will automatically map because all the column headers will be correct. What you should do is import the companies. Secondly, you should import your contacts. And one of the fields, one of the columns in the spreadsheet on the contacts spreadsheet should be company name, and by doing it this way, it will sync those contacts to that company. So it's fairly straightforward. We've got a video, I think, on YouTube as well that explains a bit more how to do that. So the second part, I want my customers to get emails from me or their rep quarterly emails already pre-canned. What's the best way to do that and automate it? A couple of different ways of doing that. So we just spoke about importing companies and contacts. Some businesses use leads as their initial record. So if you had a lot of inquiries and you wanted to import those for people to work on, and actually they're only at the sort of pre-qualification stage, you might actually import them as leads, and it's the same process. If you imported them as leads, you could then, as well as doing some sort of telephone campaign, you could create some automation rules on those contacts. Click into the automation tab here, and as you can see on this one already, we've got an email set up here. So we can, based on the stage, so we have, just click out of this and click into one and show you this. We have these different stages for leads. These are customizable stages. You can change the descriptions of them. You can have less and you can have more stages. But based on those stages, go into our automations tab. You can trigger automatic actions here. Click on configure. So what we have here is when the lead is new, the first stage, we called it new inquiry in this case, we're sending out an email. We're doing some other things at different stages here, creating a task, changing responsible persons, scheduling a call. If you want to do a drip email campaign where you send an email periodically every week or every month, I would first create my first email here. I would add the content of that email, and you can style up that email using this editor tool. So you can have links in there to landing pages that you can also create inside Bitrix. You can attach documents and etc. So I create the first email that you're sending out. I would then have a wait. And there's two ways of doing this, but I would send out a wait for 1 week, and then I would send out my second email. And save that. So in this case, we've added the deal, no one changes the deal stage. You're sending out an email here, you're pausing for a week, sending out a second email. You can change the description of that, wait 1 week. And it might be that you want to run this campaign, this drip email campaign, every week for a period of time until somebody qualifies this lead, until actually you've spoken to them and you decide that it's something you want to take forward or close. So actually when somebody changes the stage from new inquiry, then those emails would stop because you've moved on from that stage. You can do it like that. You can do it differently, like this, where you send an email at each individual stage, and I can have this, and I can have something like change where's it gone? Change status to first call. This is the second stage we have here called first call. So in this case, we're sending the email straight away. It's going to change the stage to this, and then we had a pause in there. It's gone. Let's put that up there. We will. Can't get that to stick up there. So we will send the email out, immediately change the status to this. We'll pause a week and then it will send the second email. It might be that you want to do it like that, and this way you can name the stages with the titles of the emails that you're sending out, so you know what stage the campaign is at. So there's another way you can do it with business processes, but I'd recommend doing it something like that. Good morning. Is there a way to add a single element like a button to a website page? A single element like a button to a website page. Well, you can add. Inside Bitrix, you can create your own web sites and landing pages. So we have a sites module. Let's have a quick look. And you can create your own. Don't know what's on this one. You can create your own landing. Create your own create a website, so just single landing pages like this, and we have loads of templates that you can use, and you can just add your own personal content to it. It's all drag and drop technologies, no coding. It's simple to create your own pages. So you can create the whole page. If you want to create a whole page, we just said there's a way to add a single element like a button. Well, you can add single elements to this particular page, but if you want to create something that you're going to embed on an existing page, then really might be worth looking at CRM forms. So it is possible to create. Let's have a look at this form. It's possible to create forms like this, so that people complete basic inquiry forms or longer forms that collect information from customers and prospects, and they can submit that. So this itself can be embedded as a form, fully embedded on the page, or it can be embedded as just as a button which will pop up a form. So if we go into, not too sure what the purpose that you're looking to do, just mention a button, but if we use this code here, then it will generate for us a button that we can then use, we can embed on your web page. I want to be able to create a printable document, i.e. a letter to a contact that will be mailed so I can print it out. Okay, so let's go into CRM. Let's have a look. So we have, I can't remember where our document creator tool exists, here we go. So it exists, I think, on all CRM records now. So you would choose the record that has the data in there that you want to pull into your document. So you can indeed create a PDF document that would pull in, let's say, the company name. We've got things like industry here, region and telephone number. You can pull all that information in. Of course, you had any other fields in there, pull that in to the document. So let's look at these templates. So we have a series of templates here. What we would recommend doing is choosing one template, downloading it, downloads as a Word document. You can then add the kind of static content to that, so your address and your logo and things like that, and change the layout around, and then you can go into here and select the fields that you want to integrate into the document. So let's have a look. Company name. So if you were to copy and paste title with the curly brackets into your Word document, that's going to be replaced when you generate the PDF with the company name, and in this case it's TechCo. So that way you're creating a dynamic document. So that's how you would do that. Can I connect my FB page with you for lead generation and CRM software? Facebook, yes you can. You certainly can connect Facebook. So if we go into our sales center, no, sorry, contact center, there we go. So Bitrix integrates with other external platforms to allow you to receive message communications from other sources and reply to them directly from within Bitrix, but not only reply to them from Bitrix, but save those inquiries as new leads inside your system. And some of those include WhatsApp, live chat widgets that you can just embed on web pages, your own web pages, WeChat, but also Facebook, as you can see here. So yeah, you can set up your Facebook. This one's not. This one is now connected, I think. This one's now connected. So it will ask you for some keys that you can get from your Facebook admin page, and then people can comment. People can go to your Facebook page. They can send you a message, and that message will pop up as a chat window like this, and you can reply directly from the chat from within Bitrix, and they'll receive that on Facebook, and it's instantaneous, so you can have a good conversation. Once the conversation is finished, it will save. If your settings are such, it will save automatically as a new lead. You just go back into the CRM, you'll probably see that we've got some leads here that are generated from here we go, Facebook live chat. So this one was actually generated from, as we can see, source from a live chat on Facebook. If I open up that lead, then we get to see we would normally get to see the transcript of that chat, so it's not enabled on that one. Let's see if we've got any more. No, we haven't. But you get to see the transcript, so you can pass that lead on to somebody. They can review the conversation you've had, the chat conversation you've had, and yeah. So that's. We use 8x8 for our telephony system in the office. How easy would it be to connect it up? Let's have a look. Click into telephony. Just go back to our contact details so that you've got, if you want to get in touch with us, afterwards we can provide a one-to-one demo for you. You can answer these questions on a one-to-one call and go into some more detail. That's what we do as a partner. So get in touch with us on sales@intraface.com with your inquiries, or any of those telephone numbers that are on the screen. Okay, so the question is 8x8. Let's have a look at let's have a look at into our apps. Here we go. So if you click in, let me just show that again. If you click in here on your telephony page, if you're a Bitrix user already, then it will show you all the applications that are ready to go to work with Bitrix, and there's currently 73 different telephone apps out there. So popular ones are Ring Central, which we work with a lot, 3CX, this asterisk one, and yeah, we have an 8x8 integration. So this is developed, as you can see here, by Bitrix. So there's a lot of applications that are developed by third parties. So, but this is a Bitrix one, it's a free one, you can install that, they'll give you some more settings, instructions on how to do the integration, but that will mean that you'll be able to continue using your current phone system to make and receive calls. Your billing relationship will stay the same with the existing provider, but you will be able to call contacts from the CRM, and when calls come in, you'll be able to receive those calls inside Bitrix, so you'll be able to see who's actually calling you. In addition to that, you'll be able to record calls against contacts in the CRM. And let's have a look, see if we've got anything inside here. So no recorded calls there, but your recorded calls will store in the activity stream of the contact, so you or anyone else who has permission to access that contact will be able to play back those recorded calls. And yeah, as I say, you'll be able to click and call, and that will dial on your phone system. So how do you link a page to your IG store in Bitrix? I don't know what an IG store is, unfortunately. To give you some more information on what an IG store is. Okay, how many employees can a department have? Is there a limit? So, employees, yeah, don't know for sure if there's a limit. I would suspect there is no limit. Let's just have a look. We'll find it. We've got a lot of different menu items on here which have been created. I think there's examples and things. I can't find, oh, it's right at the top, employees. So you can have, instead of look at the company structure earlier on when we were doing permissions. So we talked about permissions, whereby you can see contact records you're responsible for, but also anyone in your department. So in this is where you create those departments. And the question is how many people you can have in a department. Well, I don't think there's any limit on the amount of people you can have in a department. You can certainly create, multiple departments to create your company structure. Does Bitrix have social media integrations? So yeah, I mean, we just looked at contact center. So these are the social media integrations. Bitrix allows you to what we call open channels. This allows you to integrate with these different social media platforms in order to receive messages in and reply out to those messages. That's communication. Those are chat messages. Bitrix is not a. You can't create a post in Bitrix and then schedule that to be sent out on Facebook. It's not a tool for managing social media posts in that sense, but you can manage those communications you see from those social media web pages. Can you explain how the Extranet site works? Is this just for external clients to use? So yeah, I can explain that. Let's see if we can access our Extranet site here. So the Extranet site is for external users. You can invite in clients or contacts into the Extranet. Really anyone that you want to collaborate with. Quite often it's customers that you want to share information with. This is a self-hosted edition that I'm looking at the moment. The Extranet is available on any commercial package of Bitrix. It is it allows you to invite unlimited numbers of users in as Extranet users. So on some packages you pay by numbers of users, particularly on the self-hosted you buy packages which have numbers of users. There is no limit on the number of extranet users you can invite in. And on this one, because it's a self-hosted, you can customize things like banners, and we put some custom banners on the right hand side for these users. On the self-hosted, you can also have your own custom login page. You're hosting on your own domain, so you can create a really good branded up portal area for those customers who invite customers in. They'll obviously see a lot less menu items on the left hand side. This user is not an extranet user, so even though I'm in the extranet area, I've got access to all my other sites. But essentially what you'd normally see is something like this. So you'd see a work group like this one, and they would be able to access the group. That one doesn't exist. They would be able to access the work groups. So look, find a work group that exists. No. So I don't have access to any of those work groups. Let's go back to the main site and I'll show you a work group. But essentially, an extranet user can access all the features that exist within a work group. So if we look inside a work group, not a very good one. Let's look inside this one that's got more features enabled. There we go. So a work group has an activity stream. You can see all the comments and updates from users. It has tasks, so you can share tasks with them, allow them to comment and track progress on projects or work that you're doing on tasks. Has a calendar, share events and things with people, with your extranet users. Drives, that's a big one, so you can share documents with your clients and customers, suppliers. You can invite them into chat. Things like photo library and lists. Lists is quite useful if you wanted to, say, share tables of assets, or in this case expenses, with an external user. So extranet users get access to all the features that exist within a work group. They don't get access to anything in the CRM or any of the HR tools. So that's under the terms of the license, they can't access those. So you don't have to worry about them being able to access any areas of the system that with sensitive information in there. Let's just put our contact details up there again, and you can get in touch with us right now in the chat window with questions, or you can email questions to us, sales@interface or live@interface.com with your questions, and I'll stay here until we've got no more questions left to answer, or I'll stay here for up to an hour until we've got no more questions left to answer. We are in the US, the UK and Dubai, so choose an office that's local to you and then get in touch and we'll be able to arrange demo and discussion about what it is you want to achieve. We are gold partners of Bitrix24. We're not Bitrix, we're Interface Gold partners. Experts in implementing Bitrix for businesses, so tell you how you can get the most out of the system. Okay. Okay, how do you link a page to your Instagram store in Bitrix? I don't think there is any. Well, let's have a look. Instagram integration. Oh, we have Instagram for business. There we go. Sorry. So you go into your contact center, you can connect your Instagram page like that, and it will allow you to, anyone sending a message on your Instagram, you'll be able to receive those messages in Bitrix and reply to them, save them as leads, etc. Should, for best practice, emails be sent from Bitrix? Well, that's really up to you. Send emails from Bitrix, or send emails from Gmail or Outlook or whichever other email clients you want to use. That's your call. So go into a contact and show you. So you can, once you're in a contact, you can send an email from here. You can select a template, and send out an email from here. Send it from your designated email address, correct email address. Or alternatively, you can send emails from your existing email client and you can sync those emails. So either way you get a history of emails inside your activity stream against the correct contact, and I can open up. So that is whether you're sending emails from the Bitrix system or you're sending emails from your existing email provider, then you get them synced against the contacts, so you've got that history. Hi, I'm facing the problem importing file. Your demo CSV you can easily import, but while I change any names and it's not imported, please show how to import edit file. Well, we did that at the beginning. You can watch this. You can watch this back on YouTube. They get saved on Bitrix. This is on Bitrix24 YouTube channel. They'll get saved. You can watch this back, but I do it again anyway. So go into your contacts. So what you need to do is export to an Excel file that will give you all the columns. Populate that, and then go to import. You need to import from a CSV. So if you've got an Excel, save it as a CSV, and it will import for you. If you need any help, I mean, we have got a video. If you go on YouTube, pretty sure if you go on YouTube, our YouTube channel, so youtube.com/intraface, INTREFACE, we've got a video on how to import contacts into the CRM. Okay, we don't have many questions left. Is there an extra cost if you record calls? So there isn't, so I'm assuming we're talking about telephone calls here. Let's see if we've got any calls recorded. No, let's have a look at another contact. Okay, there we go, outbound calls. So recorded calls appear like this as items that you can listen back to, and there is no charge to record calls. You can transcribe calls to text, and that uses an integration with Google, and that's chargeable per minute to show the rate, but you pay for that service, and that's quite useful because it allows you to search telephone calls by keywords, but recording calls is not chargeable. Let's see if we can find a setting for recording calls. Telephone settings. Oh no, we go into our telephone number that we've rented, we configure it. So here we go. You can choose what to do in terms of how to integrate those calls with the CRM. Here's recording. Save recordings of all calls. So provided you've got that ticked, it will record those calls. If you're in a region where you need to notify the caller that you're recording their call, then you can you can tick this box, and this box will play an automatic message. Here's the transcribe call recording. So and that will convert it to, as I say, to text for you. Let's have a look, see if we've got the costs in here for transcribing call recordings. No, I thought it would be in there. But yeah, you can configure all your settings in there, and there is no extra cost to record calls. So post your questions in the chat window, please. If you have any additional questions, subscribe to Interface and Bitrix24 on YouTube, and you'll receive notifications about live sessions that we do. We do it at the same time every week. We do it for 1 hour. Answer any questions on the subject area of Bitrix24. In addition, we have webinars which we run on a Monday. They are at 4 p.m. New York time, Eastern Standard Time, and we rotate through 7 different webinars, and you can ask questions on those particular subject areas on those webinars as well. After updating Bitrix task, now create automatic message notifications like task is overdue, performance decreased. Automatic message like task is overdue, right? Well, I mean, that's probably a new functionality that notifies you of overdue tasks. So do you want to disable that, or let's just go into tasks and have a look at tasks. You get these little indicators of which are overdue. You have these deadline dates, so it's based on that date. We have automation here, so if you click on automation, then it might be that you've got a notification in here that is sending out based on overdue here. So we have these, to run through it quickly, rules. So these rules, such as notification with email here and change responsible person, they're triggered when the stage of the task is changed from to one of these stages. These are customizable stages that you can change for your tasks. So they're triggered when the stage is changed by a user manually, but you also have these trigger actions here. So you can add in this action called overdue, and that means that if the current date is past the task deadline date, it's going to change the stage of this to this stage, and then as a result trigger this, in this case, notification. So you might have something like this. To be honest, it might be that there's just a functionality in there, new functionality that sends out notifications, but I wouldn't have thought it does, but it you know, maybe it does. But check the automation rules, I think, first. So the notification is created in comments. Okay, so yeah, you cannot, as far as I know, you can't change any standard functionality around. Well, in fact, you can go into, if you go into your bell on the top right hand corner here, this is your notification center. So this will probably tell you, there's lots of different notifications that happen in different ways. This will probably tell you when tasks are becoming overdue, and it'll probably pop up for a period of time. It might even send you an email. You can change these by going into the little settings there. So firstly, you need to go into the bell notifications up here, to the settings, and then you have site, email, and push notifications. So these are what push to your phone and things. So you can change which ones you receive. If we try and find tasks, so here we go on tasks. We've got comments added, task reminder, created or updated, task assigned to you. So we don't have any settings there that send out notifications based on something, a task being overdue. So it doesn't look like that's a standard functionality. So if you're receiving those, can't see any other settings there that you can turn off. So it might be that you can't turn that off. Have a look in here though to see if there's any notifications coming out that you don't want. If it's not, if you can't make the change in there, check there's no automation happening. If it's not an automation, it's standard functionality, then you just probably can't turn it off, unfortunately. Can you please demo a dynamic block by adding a newsfeed block to a site? I can't demo that at the moment. I tell you what we'll do is we'll come back to demo that next week. We'll save that question and we'll demo it next week. So if you're able to join at the same time, we will do that. Alternatively, if you just want to watch the recording back next week, then we'll set that up for you so that we can show you how that works. Okay, any further questions? Just put our contact details up there again in case you want to get in touch with us. Doesn't look like we have any further questions. Thanks for your time. Please get in touch with us if you want a one-to-one demo. Let us know what your requirements are, what sort of features you want to see, what you want to achieve from implementing Bitrix in your business. We'll try and tailor a demo that shows exactly how that, how Bitrix would work to solve your, to be the right solution for you. So get in touch with us on any of those contact details. Subscribe to us if you want to see notifications about when we go live on YouTube. But no more questions. Thank you very much for your time. Bye for now.